3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Today's podcast sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, now available
Oh
in the
my
Epic Games Store.
That was really good.
That was amazing. Welcome to M2M Football. This will be our first ever panel. I'm Zunair, and we're going to go around and everyone's going to introduce themselves. So starting with Julian.
Hi, I'm Julian. I guess first time on the show. Hopefully it goes smoothly. Arsenal fan.
What's up, guys? I'm Suraj. Not my first time on the show, but I'm in a different seat now. I'm coming to you from the Etihad. I am a Manchester football fan.
How's that going?
Not too great.
We'll talk trash later, but all right, I'm Ahmed. I'm a Liverpool fan. You can see Anfield, and I'm very happy right now.
Bandwagon.
Okay.
I'm Emir. This is Ed Gormley here in the background.
Yes.
I don't have a club, but I love football, so you know.
So
do we.
we're going to be covering the Premier League, Bundesliga, and then we're going to talk a little bit of trash afterwards and during. So first of all, let's talk about the Premier League. Chelsea had a 2-1 win over Man City, Suraj, and Liverpool clinched the title. So first of all, let's talk about how you interpreted Liverpool's success. After 30 years, they finally clinched the title. How does that feel? Let's start with a Liverpool fan. Oh.
Well, I mean, it was gonna happen sometime soon. You know, they've had about so many near misses, so many that season where it was Chelsea, Manchester City, and Liverpool up there. You know, when we had Suarez and Sturridge. So that was probably the closest near miss since. But in that 30-year span, there was at least like 6 times we could have won it. And, you know, it was gonna happen, and I just didn't think it was gonna happen so soon with Klopp. And I'm so happy and like grateful like it happened that fast. You know, some teams haven't seen a Premier League win since 2002, 2003. But yeah.
Let's get a response from that from Julian.
Nice one. Yeah, thanks, but it's interesting. I've always hated Liverpool, but I have to,
Yeah.
But
a lot of them do.
But I find myself hating them less, and I think that's because I'm also a Dortmund fan. And when I saw Jurgen Klopp moving to Liverpool, I figured that with it's a big name club, and especially even in the States, they've got a big presence in Boston area where I'm from because they're co-owned by the Red Sox Corporation. And I felt that you look at the amount of talent that they're able to pick up, the amount of money that they can spend because the American donors. If you're an American and you own a British football club, you've got so much money you can just throw it around if you need to. And Jurgen Klopp, what he was able to do, what he was able to do with Dortmund against Bayern Munich, I figured it was only a matter of time, and I'm happy for the guy, finding success in the Prem. So I had no doubt that it would come eventually. And I figured that they can definitely win again as well. When you look at their young talent like TAA, it's a lot that he can do. Salah, you can't understate his greatness right now. Like you can't ignore the fact that he's just he's up there with like the best of the best of strikers in terms of production, in terms of presenting a threat.
And there's a lot of people that were so quick to say he was just a one season flop or just a one season wonder, but he's in all of his 3 seasons so far, he scored 20 goals in all competitions.
Yeah.
Since that's a feat that Michael Owen between 2000 and 2001, 2002, 2003, that's the last time that's happened for Liverpool. So he keeps breaking records and he keeps doing what he's doing, but people are just so quick to call him a one season wonder. It's ridiculous.
We can't forget to look at the other side of the ball too. You got Van Dijk, he's a force of nature. Trent Alexander-Arnold, like plays both sides of the ball. He's better. He has more quality than a lot of Liverpool midfielders too.
There's a lot of controversy with Man United fans with TAA. They always say that AWB is better.
He's not.
And I think he might be a better defender.
And if you look at goalkeepers, like you guys got quality there. He's up there. I'd say up there is one of the best goalkeepers in the league for sure. Of
Across
course,
In the
I'm
world.
a bit biased towards Bernd Leno just because I have to be, and his shot stopping is crazy, but yeah.
We
across the
can't
board,
stop Malpod.
to it and keep looking at it and look at it over again. Seems like there's no holes in Liverpool's squad. They have Shaqiri, who's a phenomenal guy off the bench. They have Wijnaldum, Henderson, who are solid ball-playing midfielders. They have amazing fullbacks, center backs. Up top, they're stacked. I mean, I don't see Liverpool relinquishing their dominance over the league anytime soon. Okay, Emir, how do you feel about this?
Well, Liverpool?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it was gonna happen anytime soon. It was just bound to happen any second. I think as long as Klopp stays at Liverpool, there's no stopping Liverpool at this point. I think he's really gelling this team together perfectly. I think that's his thing when it comes to what he did at Dortmund as well, and even Mainz before that. He's just all about playing to his strengths. So he'll build the entire team around what Liverpool are good at, or his how do you say, philosophy of pressing high and not giving them space to breathe. So he'll just build the entire team around that. Everybody plays their role in the team. I think what y'all were saying about Trent Alexander-Arnold, we can't forget about Andy Robertson on the other side.
Yeah.
They're literally the two best, I think, fullbacks on the planet right now at such a young.
Scottish Roberto Carlos.
Maybe not Andy yet, but Trent is definitely the best right back in the world right now.
Yeah, and I think if you look at them as a pairing, they work really well together. They're definitely the best duo for sure, hands down.
Been multiple times where they've just switched the ball to each other, doing 1-2s from 90 yards away.
I think they're the secret to success. They make Liverpool so efficient in the attack. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, if you look at, I keep coming back to Trent. He has 12 assists already as a right back.
No.
In 31 appearances, 12 assists. Like, he's getting 70 passes a match. He's got 3 goals. It's production up the field.
Trent is so good. Suraj?
Yeah, coming from a City fan, the way in which Liverpool clinched that Premier League title, that was an ugly game for City against Chelsea. That was rough, but well-deserved for Liverpool. You tip your hat to them. They persevered through this pandemic. There was a big pause in the season, and they pretty much had the title sealed early on in the season. They were so dominant, so many points ahead. So you definitely like to see them get their well-deserved celebration, especially in a time like this.
Following up on that, do you feel that the pandemic with the current events going on, do you feel that this may have robbed Liverpool of their ability to celebrate the way they wanted to, or do you think it's normal, just another Premier League title? Going back to Suraj right away.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I think it did rob them of some of the fruits of celebration, but it doesn't take away from what they accomplished this season at all. I mean, you guys mentioned how powerful of a squad they were from top to bottom. So they deserved it, obviously, and I think now that they're in the spotlight, because Premier League is one of the few sports actually going on right now, they're in the spotlight. They still have a different way and a special way to celebrate their first title in a while.
Definitely.
Ahmed, how do you feel? Has this stunted your celebrations in any way?
I mean, if you look at Merseyside now, I mean, they're shooting fireworks everywhere. People are going out. Even the club has actually, said, we don't want any fans going out right now. Wait for September for the parade, but because there's still a pandemic going on. But if you look at Merseyside right now, it's not like anything's going on. So they're enjoying it. Everyone's enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. It's been real fun this season, and we have 7 games left to go. So you gotta enjoy those games. You gotta enjoy Thursday, Manchester City. That's gonna be a really fun game to watch.
Yeah, Julian, although Arsenal might not celebrate for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk some Arsenal trash.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess I can, if you want, because it seems like you're asking for it. I'll do some compare and contrast here. It seems like a lot of different teams, they looked at basically everyone had to deal with the break in the same way, you know.
Yeah,
But then you look at different teams and how they reacted to it. I think it also speaks for the strength of squad. You know, you look at a team like, for instance, Wolves. They came out firing, you know, points on the board immediately, taking advantage of some break, get their stuff together. Liverpool, right, came out of the break firing, foot in the throat of the rest of the league, yes, and they just clinched that as quick as they could. Look at my club. Look at Arsenal. Immediately, they look sloppy. They look slow. David Luiz looked like he was ready for a retirement home. Like, it's just, you know, it's a different mindset coming out of the break. And I think when you look at sort of like back to the original question about Liverpool, how they should be celebrating their title, I think that they should be, I guess, in a way, there's even more to be proud of in this winning in this season than in any other, because they adapted to a unique challenge and were able to remind everyone that no, we're top dog, and this is the way it's going to be.
Yeah, Amir, you've been busy during the pandemic. You've been working a lot. How do you feel about this?
Well, I wanted to kind of say something about Arsenal there.
Oh.
It's nothing negative. Well, it kind of is negative. But, I mean, before we restarted the Premier League here, Arsenal were, I think, the only undefeated team in the Premier League in 2020.
Yep.
And
I think they had one. But
yeah,
but still,
maybe.
It was late.
Yeah. And
now they're ninth.
No, I mean, they were really catching momentum with Arteta coming in, and you know, towards the end of the league, I think they were
finding some form. Yeah.
I think they were really going to fight for top four, and then it just kind of hurt their stride after this long break, and
Wheels fell off the wagon a bit.
they just you could see a lot of the mistakes you saw previously with Emery and those kinds of just ways of playing before.
Complacency.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you feel about the controversy between the Brighton and Hove and Arsenal? How they had a lot of trash talk between that game. What do you guys think of that?
I think Guendouzi, I think he's a bit arrogant, you know, there, especially to be saying, you know, what did he say? Like, oh, I earn more than you ever will. When actually, like, I'm pretty sure he earns like 10K less. People like pull up, yeah. But you know, he was a bit arrogant there. But obviously, like, they've got to be mad. You know, I think honestly, the ref should have blown the whistle. That Neil Maupay goal shouldn't have happened. So yeah, there's got to be something to be upset about there.
To kind of contrast what you just said there, I think that kind of stuff happens all the time. Like, it's not just because of this. I mean, it's a big deal now because you don't hear tons of fans yelling anymore, and now it feels like when you're playing Sunday league on a local pitch. Like, it's not, you know, the trash talking comes out. That's probably the atmosphere that was felt in during that game. But I feel like that happens so much, and it happens so frequently. In other circumstances, it wouldn't be a big deal. We probably wouldn't be hearing about it at all.
I totally agree. I mean, one, he's an Italian player, and the Italian players have like a history of being a little bit more emotional. They're known for it. They're known for being a little bit more dramatic and stuff. And even I was watching like an Italian game today, and when the announcers were saying like translate like because there's no crowd, and he was acting as a translator for stuff, and he's like, yeah, I'm not translating about 70% of what they're saying because it's all obscenities. So, you know, I feel like it's just sort of like you were saying, Amir, it's the same thing where just you can hear more. And yeah, maybe it's a little bit, and you know, Arsenal's always been known as like a mixture of cocky and also kind of scummy. And we embrace that, so it's part of the culture.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember real quick, I think when my dad was watching this game, he was like, and he saw, like, you know, the fight with Guendouzi, you know, getting in people's faces. He was saying like, oh, he has to be Moroccan or Algerian, and he is in fact like partially Moroccan. So I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's because that's how they act in games. So
True that. Going to the other side of the Liverpool title clinch, how do you feel about the City-Chelsea game? And more importantly, Christian Pulisic, the American dream. What do you guys think about his performance and his phenomenal goal? What do you guys think about that?
Could have had a brace. Could have had a hat trick, honestly.
I thought the goal was brilliant. I thought
yeah,
he showed it that he had he got it on his bike and just blasted past.
Like, who was back there? Like, it was Mendy, De Bruyne, and
Horrible defending, to be honest with you.
yeah, Mendy was, but he timed that sprint so well that
In the
it
finish,
was all just timing and thinking.
You know what that reminded me of? It looked like a
Henry
like
goal.
alternate year. Oh no, it looked like the alternate universe of the Gabriel Martinelli goal that
Oh
they
yeah,
scored. Remember beginning of 2020
when
against Chelsea?
Conte
Yeah.
slipped.
Yeah, it was same kind of deal. Same kind of deal. Brilliant goal.
I fully agree. Suraj, City was in that game. How'd you feel? Getting burned. And
Not much to say here. Pretty depressing. I would have liked it if Liverpool clinched the title by winning their own game rather than us choking.
Ooh.
I mean, but Chelsea, they've decided so many titles. Why not this one?
Exactly.
Yeah, Chelsea's got a young squad. They're looking up, like, for the future. They got a really young squad. I like what they're doing in Chelsea, even though I don't like the club itself.
Oh, same.
Yeah, I mean, it was a
That
bad
must
game
be-
for City.
I
That
feel
must
like
be weird at
like,
home.
A handball by Fernandinho pretty much ruined all chances of City having a shot. Like, there's always that little sliver of hope. Like, they're not mathematically eliminated from coming back and gaining on Liverpool's points. But, I mean, obviously Liverpool just had such a big lead on the table. It was uncatchable for City.
Oh yeah, no, there's no way. It's interesting though. I look at Chelsea and I feel like every few years people are talking like it's the end of the world. It's like their club's never going to recover this. They're mid-table, and then the next year they come back. They're back in top 4 form. They won the league a few years ago, didn't they? Right, and it's just sort of like it's just one of these things where you never know where they're going to be. And I don't know if that's an inconsistency in the clubhouse or with management, but I feel like now it's a new fresh start, young squad. Don't have David Luiz there anymore. I wish Arsenal didn't have him either. So anything can happen. And you look at Pulisic. I feel like Pulisic, as well as being a good player, he's a money move. As an American, it's going to bring American interest in the club. I mean, you get more money. You look at what Spurs did right back in 2020. I think it was 2011, 2012 with Clint Dempsey. Maybe 12, 13. You look at Clint Dempsey and how that basically and how with Americans at Spurs, basically now you have huge number of Spurs fans everywhere, and there's an NFL field at Hotspur Stadium. And same with like Everton, bringing in American players really brought Everton up in value as well. You look at Brad Friedel, who was their keeper for a long time. You look at, of course, Tim Horton, everyone knows.
Yeah, and then moving to another famous North American speedster who's playing in Europe, Alphonso Davies.
Yeah.
Phenomenal second half of the campaign to seal the Bundesliga title. How do you feel about that?
Bayern Munich is the way the Bundesliga works. It's hard for them to not win these days because they have the 50+1 rule where you have to be fan-owned clubs, essentially fan-controlled. You're never going to have you're never going to outcompete for a player with money, right? In the way that you can just pay someone to help bring your club up in the Prem, right? Where you can always just pay someone more money. You can't do that in the Bundesliga. And so, of course, if you're getting the same offer from Bayern, and for instance, this has happened to Dortmund for like 15 years now, where Dortmund has all these great players and they just can't keep them with paychecks. And so you look at like all kinds of players where it's like if you're going to get the same amount of money playing for Dortmund or Bayern, you're going to go to Bayern because they already have a strong basis to win a title, and everyone wants to win titles. And that's why they've won 8 in a row. It's just you can't really outcompete someone in the checkbook, and so you just got to try and get lucky and hope.
Emir, do you have anything to say about Bayern's players stealing from Dortmund and also Alphonso Davies?
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, I think Julian said it perfectly. He can't compete with a checkbook. Alphonso Davies has top class TikToks. I'll give him that. But yeah, he's a good little player.
So does Lewandowski too.
No,
Does he really?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Gotta
I used to
stop.
think he was a lethal, emotionless striker, but then,
Cold-blooded.
yeah, now
TikTok.
it's shattered.
I will
That
never
image is
forget.
shattered.
I will never forget 5 and 9.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes.
That's what made,
it was so scary.
and Pep Guardiola's.
I will
Oh
never.
yeah, he was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah,
It's not gonna happen again. It will never happen again.
Oh,
I don't
definitely
think so.
a one-time thing, but it's phenomenal that it happened.
Ever again. It's not gonna be
Nah,
beat.
but
It's not gonna be matched. It's not even close.
next time it's gonna be 9-5.
Ah,
9 and 5. Ooh man.
Yeah,
probably
So
some
now-
league that's happened, but
and Emir Karagic at Tad Gormley 9-5.
Yeah. So what? So if we're talking about young players in the Bundesliga, what do we think of the Timo Werner confirmed for Chelsea? What do you think his
Oh, yeah.
impact's going to be?
That's,
talking about your 50+1 rule, RB Leipzig kept finding a way to exploit that and keep their players. But
Yeah.
eventually, the buying power of the Premier League was too much, and they took Timo Werner. But also, in a press conference earlier, somebody asked if Chelsea has their eyes on Kai Havertz, who's another phenomenal. And
he
Frank
liked the.
Frank Lampard started laughing, and then he said no. So that means yes. So Kai Havertz,
He liked Kai Havertz liked a tweet like linking him to Chelsea. I don't know if you all saw that. It was
Oh
a few
man,
weeks.
that's
Yeah,
Havertz is so good.
I know. Imagine Ziyech, Werner, and Havertz in the same transfer window.
And then Pulisic.
He's done it.
I heard there's rumors too of Chelsea's going to offload Pedro to Roma or something. You know.
Yeah.
And so they're just going to be cycling in, even getting younger and younger. You know. And I guess some of their players too were like a couple of years ago they're young guys, but I guess they have enough experience where they can really be leaders in the locker room. So
Isn't it?
Oh, Chelsea is looking like the dark horse for the title next year. Chelsea
Next
looks
year it's gonna be very interesting. Next year's gonna be an amazing thing to watch.
I think next season is going to be fun, no matter what happens for everyone. It can be fun for everyone. You know, we're gonna have even at the bottom of the table, we're gonna have the return of yeah. Yeah. But even at the bottom of the table, we're gonna have some people coming back to the league who were in there last year. I think
Leeds
exactly.
is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah,
It's gonna be amazing.
Marcelo Bielsa, genius.
yeah.
No, but I was saying Chelsea I'm afraid that they might be doing a little too much. I mean, they already have such a strong young core to the team. So by adding Werner, Ziyech, Havertz, if that happens, I mean, it's just they already have. I mean, maybe they're planning on getting rid of Tammy Abraham.
That would be sad to watch. He's done so much for the club.
Midfield. I thought Mason Mount was going to be like the future of the midfield there, but if Kai Havertz comes in, I mean, that's just putting him in the shadow, and I don't know if you'd like that.
I was gonna switch topics because I noticed something. This is like weird, just because everyone always thinks of Stoke City being bad, but always in the Prem. They're about to fall into third division. Like what the heck?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just random thought. They're old reliable for kick and run football. Somehow working, but I guess no longer.
No one's gonna know what these new kids are not gonna know what it's like to play on a Tuesday or cold rainy night at Stoke.
Yeah.
Dang, it's so crazy.
West Brom might make a return too, which would be cool.
Love to see those teams. But also Raul Jimenez was linked away from Wolves, and he did a lot of a big part of carrying Wolves on his back. So I think it'll be a tough prospect to see Wolves lose one of their best players.
I was wondering, what do you guys think about David Luiz asking for 120 grand a week?
Absolutely not.
It's bad timing. Yeah.
Yeah.
if he did it before the match, it's reasonable. But
I hope he's off the team in 2 days when his contract ends in 2 days. I hope he's off the team.
I think it's looking like y'all are gonna keep him.
Unfortunately, well, who else are we gonna play? Mustafi and Papa every game? Come on.
Yeah.
All I want's a good defender. Bring me back to Mertesacker and Koscielny, please.
Never thought I'd hear that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then Leicester sneaks into the top four. I guess we didn't mention them, but they're third, right? So
Brendan Rodgers,
Yeah.
Can we just say that somehow Jamie Vardy is kept out of the headlines while scoring fucking all over the place. Like, come on.
Brendan Rodgers doing an amazing job with that club. I don't even know who's playing where, and it's phenomenal. He's kept them out of the spotlight and in the results. It's beautiful.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
He's great.
Speaking of other players that might be, shall we say, tempted to go other places, at least maybe not if this season, like in the future. If you look at the stuff that Danny Ing is doing, like, oh my God, he's got what, 18 goals now?
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll leave that place. Thank you for joining us for our first ever man-to-man football panel with our guests Julian, Suraj, Emir, and Ahmed Mostafa. Hope to see y'all soon. We'll be back. And